Hey everyone, Kevin here, and welcome back to my channel. Now, as education continues to crash and burn, I constantly get asked some version of the question, why aren't things getting better? And I've covered why they aren't getting better for teachers specifically in more ways than I care to count, ranging from mental health issues, administrative abuse, a lack of support from parents, and growing levels of student violence. The reasons why things aren't getting better for teachers at this point should be abundantly clear. But what about the education system as a whole? Why is the public school system continuing to fail and become more and more insolvent every year? Well, those are tougher questions to answer because, to coin the name of our podcast for a moment, I have to break the fourth wall of public education to get to the heart of that conversation. To start with, though, it's important to note that there's no vested interest in making the system better in the first place from people with the political power to do so, which, in all fairness, I've also said in the past. But to be more specific, there's an inherent disconnect between what we actually need to grow versus what they think we need. But to cite an example, here in California, most schools have begun banning cell phones this year in order to create a better classroom environment. Many campuses are already seeing better attentiveness and fewer disciplinary issues with them put away too. Plus, it makes a teacher's job just that little bit easier not having to police phone usage that impacts the learning environment. All of that sounds good, right? Well, yes and no. In a way, we do need such policies put into effect. I remember I had a student who came within about 30 seconds of punching me in the face before security arrived, all because I took his phone away while others have been assaulted for the very same reason. So, yes, I think most people can get behind banning cell phones. But realistically, denying students their devices won't solve the issue, especially while we are simultaneously told and expected to utilize technology in the classroom. Every student has also been assigned a Chromebook or other laptop that they can use for a lot of the same things they use their phones for. More technology like this is something they think we need when it often isn't. Essentially, they preach one thing and then do another. One thing they do helps, while the other is a harmful policy they force upon us. And public education is riddled with examples just like this. My home district just used up the last of their COVID funds and hired like a dozen new music teachers because they think the district needed that since schools were lacking dedicated ones for each school site. But at the same time, they didn't realize that what teachers actually needed for them to do with that money was to spend it on programs to get kids back into school and manage declining enrollment. I just spoke to one of my former colleagues who still teaches Spanish in the district, and she has already been told that next year there's probably going to be layoffs coming yet again due to their decreasing enrollment. So they thought we needed to spend more money on new teachers, while at the same time knowing full well that those positions will probably all be laid off or consolidated within 1 year. Where is the logic in that? By the way, this is partly why I put out that video about how more money won't solve the school system, too. But as for other examples, though, they think we need new PowerPoint projectors when we actually need our air conditioning fixed because the classroom is 90 degrees. They think we need a new football stadium when we really need new textbooks for core classes because they're easily 20 to 25 years old. They think we need even more standardized testing when we really need to abolish the entire testing system altogether. They think we need a new curriculum fad this year when we really need to maintain one system so we can actually become effective at it in the long run instead of constantly changing them to line up with the principal or superintendent's newest thing they believe will solve education. They think we need a donut on Teacher Appreciation Day when we really need genuine repercussions for student misbehavior. They think we need to cater to parents and students when we instead need to support the idea of setting boundaries for both our kids and their families when it comes to behavior and expectations. Oh, yeah, and they think we need more administrative walkthroughs and accountability when we really need less oversight, fewer evaluations, and shorter staff meetings. The list goes on, but you get the point. The public school system is losing students not only to declining birth rates, but because parents are starting to see that it no longer effectively meets the needs of their kids and are instead choosing to homeschool or send their children to private, charter, or religious schools instead. And you know what? Teachers have come to the same conclusion about not only the needs of their kids, but their own needs as well. It's why we're choosing different careers and why you can't fill positions, since people who would normally replace us aren't entering the profession either. But look, you're never going to please everyone, and trying to do that is a fool's errand. But the art of learning and teaching students, and that of being an administrator who's supposed to manage their staff, is not about you. It's about the people you're educating and the people who are your employees. They're who you need to look to for guidance. Any business who treats their employees like crap and never listens to their concerns even a little tends to go out of business. And that's why the public education system is on the verge of going out of business too. We don't meet the needs of anyone these days. If you're a new parent now, would you choose that kind of a system for your child? Same goes if you're a new teacher or one who is considering leaving. Would you choose to enter or remain in this career when you know it's not going to get any better? Administrators, politicians, textbook manufacturers, and standardized testing companies are all going to tell you what to do because they think they know what you need and what's best for you. They're never going to ask us for our input, and that's not a recipe for long-term success or improvement. The simple and honest truth is that the people in charge of education with actual authority to change policies for the better think they know what you need more than you do. That's why education isn't getting better. But with that, I'll end here for today. Thank you for listening, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date with all of my content. As always, I will see you in the next video.